What is going on, everybody? Xaenca here, back once again with another video just for you. Friendly reminder as always, if you do end up enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. So the trailer for Todd Phillips' Joker film starring Joaquin Phoenix came out last week, and I thought it looked pretty good. I mean, I didn't talk about it on the channel because it didn't seem like there was all that much to talk about in regards to what we saw in the trailer. It looked just as I imagined it should be, a man who looks like he's suffering from some kind of mental illness already, and his descent into full-on madness. Obviously, that first part of that statement is speculation. The second is basically what we saw in the trailer. The whole inappropriate relationship with the mom is kind of weird, but I mean, if that's to build on that whole madness thing, I don't know, is she sick? Is that why he needs to bathe her? I don't know, but they clearly have an inappropriately close relationship, and I'm gonna take a wild shot in the dark and say that she dies because, I mean, it's pretty goddamn obvious, right? One of the many things I'm sure that will drive him to that aforementioned full-on madness. But like I said, I like the trailer, and the Joker character himself is in my top 5 villains of all time. But much to my surprise, little did I know that the reason why I enjoyed that trailer so much and the reason why the Joker is in my top 5 villains of all time is because of toxic masculinity.
Gasp! I never would have guessed.
Joker is catnip for Batman's toxic masculinity fandom by Gavia Baker Whitelaw from the Daily Dot. Ooh, I'd be careful about that white in your name. Your SJW brethren don't like that all that much. And you're white as well. Oh my god, 2 strikes, 1 more and you're out. I don't know if I've talked about the Daily Dot on this channel yet, but if I haven't, it's basically a Mary Sue tier SJW publication. And I know there have been other articles to come out on this subject, but it seems like the Daily Dot was the first on the scene, so we're gonna talk about this one. Todd Phillips' Joker is a genius move for the DC movie franchise. Not because it looks good, although surprisingly enough it does, but because it was engineered to appeal to a specific type of film bro. At least she acknowledges that it looks good. But what the fuck is a film bro? For the past decade, certain fans have yearned for Batman to be taken seriously, starting with Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy and continuing through Zack Snyder's tenure. This audience's ideal Batman is a violent loner, and they're religiously invested in the mythical Snyder cut of Justice League. Any criticism of Nolan's sexism or Snyder's muddled storytelling is instantly rejected as heresy. I'm sorry, but what? Like, Nolan's sexism? Is this an actual thing? God damn it, now I have to look this up. Alright, so I looked it up. Apparently the belief is that because Christopher Nolan kills off females in certain movies of his, he is a sexist. Easily debunked, however, if you have more than 50 IQ. I mean, without even having to look for examples, look at Inception. That is a movie that has you believe that Leonardo DiCaprio is the hero, but it was really Ellen Page. I mean, the subject is just so absurd. For every woman that he's had killed in one of his movies, how many men died? These people are such idiots. Anyway, let's get back to the article. There's a lot of spiritual overlap here with the kind of film buff who cares deeply about IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes ratings, itself a very gendered priority. Oh my god. This article is painful to get through and places high value on gritty dramas about tormented white men, The Godfather, Fight Club, etc. If you look at IMDb's top-rated movies, you'll find The Dark Knight in the number 3 spot, nestled comfortably between The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2. And so what? I mean, what are you trying to tell me, that they're not deserving of those positions? Because the Godfather films are in many people's top 10 movies of all time lists. Joker is catnip to this audience, a direct homage to Scorsese's Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy. It's the highbrow equivalent of Guardians of the Galaxy, tickling the pleasure sensor of recognizing a familiar pop culture reference. Of course they would have issues with Taxi Driver, Jesus Christ. That's 2 Robert De Niro movies you've called out, by the way. You see that, Robert? Just because you're on these SJWs side does not save you from them attacking your film legacy. Joker is DC's first prestige movie, a mid-budget drama with Joaquin Phoenix echoing his performance in The Master. That's a big departure from CGI-heavy blockbusters like Aquaman, but it's also a very predictable continuation for the Batman franchise. Inviting us to sympathize with a white male outcast who descends into violence, it's practically a checklist of traits that DC film bros take seriously. Not an automatically bad idea, but definitely a conservative choice disguised as an original one. There she goes again with the film bros. I mean, what the hell is one? Fuck it, I'm a film bro. I mean, if she doesn't like them, then it's probably a good thing at this point. Recent Batman movies are governed by a restrictive brand of masculinity, to the point where Bruce Wayne's adoptive children have been erased from the franchise. Fatherhood would only distract from Batman's inner torment, better to excise the softer emotions altogether. The comics and cartoons depict him variously as a detective, a team player, a mentor, and a compassionate protector of Gotham's underclass. These traits are now virtually invisible to mainstream audiences, overshadowed by Hollywood's addiction to edginess and macho violence. With Matt Reeves' upcoming Batman reboot described as a noir thriller, Bruce Wayne and the Joker are locked into an ever-narrowing downward spiral of grittiness and gloom. I mean, Christian Bale was supposed to be a younger version of Batman, so the whole adoptive family thing, that happens later in life. And people didn't really take Batfleck seriously, so I mean, you could just not even consider that. Then she complains about grittiness and gloom, but also references the comics. I mean, the comics are gritty and gloomy. Certain Batman cartoons are as well, but I mean, unless you're making an adult cartoon, cartoons are inherently designed for children, so of course you're not going to make them overly gloomy or gritty. To this mindset, it makes perfect sense for the Joker to get the prestige drama treatment. The Joker is dark, the Joker is scary, the Joker is twisted and isolated. It doesn't matter that the Joker works better as a chaotic monster with indecipherable motives, i.e. Heath Ledger's role in The Dark Knight, because Todd Phillips' Joker will finally force people to take him seriously again, erasing the awkward memory of Jared Leto saying he's dark and twisted in a bad movie. I don't quite understand what the comparison is with this Joker and Heath Ledger's Joker, saying that Heath Ledger's Joker was a chaotic monster with indecipherable motives. I mean, how do you know that this one isn't? Like Alfred said in The Dark Knight, some people just want to watch the world burn. And that was about as perfect as a description of the Joker as I've heard ever. Yeah, this movie is going to explore how he became a monster, but once he's there, it's the same Joker. I mean, in any iteration of the Joker, you look at him and you're like, oh, he does the things that he does because he's psychotic. And this just shows you how he becomes psychotic. I do not see what the problem is. I'm sorry, I just don't. And we both agree that the Jared Leto thing was an awkward memory, so it should just be erased. Joker may well turn out to be great, but it still reiterates a tired old idea of which stories qualify as serious, mature, and sophisticated. As I put it on Twitter, you don't see Warner Brothers making a nostalgic Lois Lane movie in the style of Nora Ephron. Better to stay in the comfort zone of gritty dramas exploring the damaged psyches of lonely white men, the most overdone genre in Hollywood. That's because nobody would watch a Lois Lane movie, dumbass. Studios are not gonna throw millions of dollars at a production budget on a movie that nobody's gonna go see. So of course you don't see Warner Brothers doing that, because that would be stupid. Is this what we're doing now? We're just gonna talk about stupid ideas that people won't do as if it's some kind of profound statement? You don't see Cartoon Network making up a cartoon with talking pieces of feces that blurt out racial slurs and profanity any chance that they get. No, it's best that they stay in their comfort zone. So there you go, that was the terrible article from the Daily Dot, a terrible publication. And our toxic masculinity makes us fans of this new edgy, macho style of Batman movie. And I was wondering, like, is this a new thought? Are these articles that are coming out now, is that a new idea? And I looked to Twitter, and Captain Marvel, of course. Captain Marvel says, yes, I'm a comic book nerd, and yes, Joaquin Phoenix is a fantastic actor, but I'm really tired of stories glorifying badly behaved and toxic men, so I have less than zero interest in the new Joker movie. Posted September 22, 2018. Captain Marvel over here was ahead of the curve apparently. But let's see what a few others have to say on Twitter, because some of this gets really good. Joker, a film where you're supposed to sympathize with a mediocre white man radicalized into deranged violence, will no doubt be appealing to the wrong audience for the worst reasons. Here's a question about liberals in general. Is it always necessary to point out what race the person you're referring to is? Or is that only when they're white? Like, because it's always just like a white man, oh, a mediocre white man. I mean, we've talked about it before, they're constantly judging people based on their skin color, but goddamn, you always have to just point it out. Can you imagine these people telling stories to you at work or whatever, like instead of just telling you like, a guy walked down the street and bumped into an old lady, you know, like normal people do, they'd be like, oh, a white guy walked down the street and bumped into an old Mexican lady which was witnessed by an interracial Asian and black couple. What is that? What is that? This one's pretty good. Can't believe the new Joker movie features a toxic male who failed so hard at stand-up comedy he turned fully evil. Wow. To all my haters, I'm so sorry they took your life story and exploited it for cheap entertainment. You absolutely should sue. Have you seen the movie or something? Were you invited to go watch an early screening? Because is that the plot of the movie? Because I didn't gather that at all from the trailer, so you must know something that we don't. And that joke at the end is mildly clever, I'll give you that, but it just doesn't work when you say to all my haters, because what, did they gather like the collective life story of all of these people? I mean, like, how does that work? It would work if it's just one person you're pointing out specifically, but whatever. A joke is a joke, I understand, it's just rendered ineffective is all I'm saying. And lastly, my favorite one needs a little bit of setting up, more for those outside of the United States or those unfamiliar with American politics. Elizabeth Warren is a United States Senator who is going to be running for president in the 2020 United States presidential election. Also known as Pocahontas with an F-A-U-X, Warren has made claims pretty much her entire life that she is of Native American descent, particularly of the Cherokee Nation, even going so far as putting down Native American instead of white on her University of Pennsylvania application. Back in October, she released DNA test results to prove her Native American heritage. This is because many people, including myself, found the claims absolutely ridiculous, including genealogists from the Cherokee tribe themselves. Well, the results revealed that she does in fact have a Native American ancestor. The problem is, it goes back 6 to 10 generations, making her 164th Native American at best. Now to her it's like, see, I told you I was Native American, while everybody else is like, you're about as Native American as Wolf Vicky's black.
July 19th was the day I found out I was black. Like, my whole entire life, my mom kept telling me, you're white, you're white. I never believed her because I knew I was black, but...
Now maybe I'm crazy here, but if I found out for whatever reason that I'm less than 2% Italian, I'm not gonna all of a sudden start putting down Italian under ethnicity on my applications. But obviously she did. She even went around saying like, oh, I'm Native American because it helps my political campaign to do so when I'm part of the Democratic Party. You know, bonus points for being a person of color and all. So, now that I've set all that up, here's the tweet. Straight men on Elizabeth Warren. She messed up once and I can't get over it. Straight men on the Joker. Really excited to hear his side of the story. Oh my god, dude. Neon Taster responds with, yes, it's amazing how people don't judge fictional supervillains and presidential candidates on the same scale. And I don't know what's sadder, the fact that this is a tweet or the fact that it has 34,000 likes. How stupid do you have to be to think that this is a great analogy? I mean, if you ever start questioning how SJW beliefs exist, that right there, the fact that there are just a lot of fucking idiots in the world is why. But yeah, it looks like the tables have turned. It wasn't that long ago that we were complaining about the Captain Marvel trailer. Now these morons are complaining about the Joker trailer. It's kind of like we're stuck on a seesaw with these idiots and we just keep going up and down. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. If you did end up enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button and share this with your friends, family, whoever you think would be interested in nonsense like this. And subscribe, ring that notification bell, and click that always so you can always be alerted every time I make another one of these videos. Thank you very much for watching and I will see you guys next time.